Hello, I wanted to cover for Finance Friday a concept that's come up with a few different clients that are going from startup mode, wearing all the hats, doing all the things, to how do we really get into that growth mode? How do we make sure our people and our processes and our profitability are where they need to be so that we can really accelerate our growth? So, in that startup phase, we are wearing all the hats, we're doing all the things, we are putting stuff into an accounting system, usually QuickBooks and Startup, and how do I actually use that data to be better? And one of the things that we're running into and with our entrepreneurs and our business owners is understanding the financial statement, the profit and loss specifically when you have in certain industries, because it's if you don't do it right, if you don't keep track of inventories, what we're going to talk about, your P&L is going to go like this. And it's not just inventory in a retail setting like I'm showing here. Here's a retail setting. We have sales of products, and then we have cost of goods sold and expenses. And you can see right here that the gross margin is bouncing all over the place and the income is as well, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's use I'm going to use three different examples to show you what this looks like if you don't actually track your inventory. And then we're going to talk through just briefly what it could look like if you do track your inventory. So why this ends up happening is you see here we got 43,000 in sales, 12,000 in cost of goods sold. So our margin there is great, right? If that was our true margin, then we're kicking butt, and 28%, look at that. But it's inconsistent month over month. And the reason that is because our cost of goods sold is inconsistent as well. So for example, when we see our margin is better here, or this is actually, we gotta go one minus this one, minus that. 72%, there we go. Okay. So our margin is better here than it is in here. So in April, we have 45,000 of sales and 25,000 cost of goods sold. But if we look at in here, we had about the same sales and only 12,000 cost of goods sold. Logically, that doesn't make sense, right? Unless there's something going on in your business that you would know of, like your suppliers doubling their price, you would be aware of that. But if it's just an accounting thing, and this is what can be super frustrating for business owners when looking at financials, is like, I know that's not right. I know that in this month that I had a lot of sales, I probably made more money. Why did I only make a few $1,000s more? Or in this month when I had a lot of sales, why did I make $15,000 less? That logically doesn't make sense. And when you are feeling that as a business owner and entrepreneur, and when you're looking at your P&L, there's a reason behind that. In this case, we're not tracking inventory. So costs are going into different periods and they're not obeying the matching principle. And the matching principle is that the revenues and the expenses show up in the same period of time. So if I buy product, which I can show you here in another one. So here's a more of a manufacturing plant, and you can see the cost of goods sold bounces all over the place a little bit. And here in this month, we have a little bit less sales, and then our cost of goods sold, we actually have a negative gross profit. So what's happening here is we're buying product to beef up our manufacturing for the coming months, but we need to match those in the right period. So we need to take time to do that. So this happens in retail, it happens in manufacturing, and it also happens in construction. So in construction, we bill every month, right? And then we record our bills or our AP and our costs of the construction as the bills come in. Now, a typical adjustment in construction is called your over under billing, or what's your WIP, your work in progress. That same term, WIP, is used in manufacturing too, the work in progress. And where the WIP lies, where the work in progress lies, where your inventory lies, is on the balance sheet. So what that does is it levels out your P&L, gives you a better picture of if you were ceased to do business on this day, say June 30th, then this is what the true value of your organization is because you have X number of whatever it is you're selling in inventory or work in progress. So without those calculations being done, it's going to be really hard to have a really accurate picture of what your financial statements look like. So if you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, or a small business, and you're like, my P&L does not make sense, it does not feel right, and you are selling a good of any kind, it's probably inventory. And inventory management is a whole bear in itself. So we can dig deeper into that, and we do dig deeper into that into our course Finance Simplified. But I just wanted to address this issue that's happening with some of the people that we're interacting with as we were running, doing all the things in a startup. Not tracking our inventory because nobody says we have to, but it's what's making it difficult to look at your financials on a regular basis on your P&L specifically because you're bouncing all over the place. So it feels inaccurate, not helpful in setting up the right processes in place, having those in place so that you can elevate your business and increase your profitability. So that's a little tidbit on inventory and a way that you can go from startup to growth and something you should be focusing on. So if your P&L is bouncing all over the place month over month and you happen to sell goods, inventory is a great place to do some analysis. I hope you have a great weekend and we'll see you soon.